Hello Leo, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your connection to the person that you are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. We are looking at all three sides of the connection, so we've got your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it. The concept being that there are three sides to every story, so we're looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section is looking at what is the deeper purpose of this connection and what is the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. As I do in all of my readings, I've pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second, but I still have a different tarot deck I'll be pulling from for each side of this connection, as well as the advice deck I'll be using to close out the reading in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So please remember to take what does resonate, helps your personal situation, and leave what does not. On that note, the whole reading can be reversed. If that is the case for you, that's totally fine and totally normal. Again, take what helps, leave what doesn't. All right, Leo, let's jump on in. Right out of the gate, on your side of this connection, you have ignoring the pain with the Ace of Cups in reverse. So there's some repression going on here, not facing the way that you really are feeling. And, you know, we have a tendency to do that when we're trying to survive, or when we're so dedicated to making something work that we don't want to see how it's truly affecting us. So it's not that you're necessarily doing anything that isn't natural. It's just, you know, needing to bring into your awareness how there might be a little bit of dishonesty with yourself when it comes to, like, is what you're experiencing in this connection matching what you truly deserve? And I feel as if, you know, that might not be the case as of right now. I'm not saying that can't be the case, but and maybe you're not wanting to see that, or maybe you know that, but you're not wanting to, you know, fully face that because you obviously, you know, love and care about this person and want to make this work, or, you know, want to make sure you're doing the best that you can to make it work. Now, this person, they have underlying motives with the Five of Swords. So this is interesting here. This Five of Swords energy is very much like a me against the world mentality. You know, always kind of on the defense, constantly pushing people away. You know, it can kind of, in relationships, it's really important in order to create a healthy relationship to remember that it is not you versus that person, but it's you and that person versus whatever problem, right? And this person doesn't have that mentality. They don't have that approach. Could be something that you struggle with too, but just, you know, as this Five of Swords energy is talking about, I feel like they very much take this perspective of, it's me against the world. I can't trust anybody. I can't let anybody in. I have to keep, you know, everybody at a distance. And I feel like that's really starting to affect you, you know, as it would anybody in your position. Now, in between the connection, you have detour with the Nine of Wands. So this is interesting because it almost feels like this connection is like taking a detour. I don't know what, like, if it's like a detour toward... It's like a detour toward what you truly deserve. And that's kind of where you're at right now. It's like the path to what you truly deserve, and like where you're at right now is like a detour on that path. So the way that I also view that is that this connection and the lessons associated are necessary on the path to what you deserve. But also I feel like is necessary. Like, I feel like what you're learning from this connection, how you're approaching it, is kind of teaching you what you need to be able to get to where you want to be in life, like especially in your relationships. But I feel like there's a whole lot more on that I can't just get from overall energy. That's why we're going to be pulling tarot. The overall theme for the reading is relief. I feel like you're looking for some relief when it comes to this connection. I don't know if you're necessarily anxious or if you're experiencing just like disappointment, sadness, grief in association with the connection, but I feel like you're definitely looking for kind of reprieve from the way that you feel. And, you know, sometimes that's when we start repressing the way we feel. When we feel so not good for so long, we don't really want to face that anymore, you know? So I don't really know what's going on here, but I do feel like there's some deeper stuff that we're going to be talking about today. I'm just going to go ahead and jump in. Let's just get to it. All right, Leo, your side of this connection to the person that you are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. So since it's, my intention is the connection that you're dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now, that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be someone who's like currently actively in your life. It could be a connection from the past that you're needing to learn a lot from, or a connection that's been around a while. It doesn't necessarily need to be romantic, though I do have a tendency of talking about it as if it is. All right, Leo's side of the connection. You are confused. I feel like you don't know what to think here. Here's the Six of Cups. Eight of Wands in reverse with the Ace of Swords in reverse. So there's two energies of being confused, lacking clarity, not really knowing what to think. And then the Six of Cups energy is kind of holding on to the past a little bit. So one of the things that I can kind of gather from this connection, this might not resonate with everyone, but I do feel like whatever is happening in this connection isn't the way that things have always been. That's kind of what I'm feeling here, which is where the confusion is coming from. Is because maybe this person kind of switched up on you. Something happened, which might be the detour, right? And I feel like maybe they, things were going along fine. Everything was great. And then all of a sudden they withdrew their energy or their like kind of emotional investment or changed their behavior in some way. And it's making you go, wait, what happened? Because I feel like nothing changed, but the connection kind of changed. Like there was a shift here. Which again is why I feel like you're left being like, oh wait, what's going on? Because I don't really know. I don't want to say you didn't see this coming. Maybe you did, but because I don't see anything about being blindsided. Let me just keep going. Leo's side of the connection. Interesting. So you have the Five of Swords. It's in reverse. It's like the more they pulled away, the more you tried to pull them closer. The more that they pulled away or are pulling away, the more you're trying to like pull them closer and make sure that you're keeping them as close as you can here, or like trying to get back to how things were in the beginning or something. But why are they pulling away? That's what I want to know. Because I definitely feel this like push and pull kind of energy. It's like maybe you have a tendency to kind of pull away when they get close, and then it's just kind of, but right now as the connection stands, there's definitely this energy of them pulling back, getting this defense, building up this wall, getting defensive. And the more that they do that, the more you're going, wait, no, hang on. I thought things were good. I thought everything was fine. Like, where are you going? What's happening? And I feel like that's why things have been because I feel like this has been a very complicated connection. I don't feel like this has been like a straightforward kind of connection at all here. All right, Leo's side of the connection. Yeah. Okay. All right. A lot going on here. So, Ten of Wands, Knight of Wands, and the Moon here. I feel like this might be for some of you, a pattern in your relationships. Like, feeling like things are going fine, but then, as things start to evolve, the other person starts to pull away or walks away or whatever the case is, and you're going, what the hell? And I feel, with this 10 of Wands here, this connection has gotten very heavy for you to carry, because I feel like you're not only kind of bearing the burden of the connection, but I also feel like you're carrying around this like fear, almost like, why, this person not seeing my value or this person not choosing me, like that makes me feel like I'm never going to be loved. It makes me feel like I'm not lovable. It makes me feel like I'm not good enough. And I'm not saying you don't know your worth, right? But we all have a tendency to doubt our worth at some point. And it's almost like this connection brings up, like, one of the biggest things we have to remember is that these beliefs that we acquire about ourselves and the world around us are going to be based on our experiences. So if we experience enough people treating us poorly or not showing up for us or not choosing us, even starting in childhood, like with our parents, if we experience, from a young age, not having the love that we're truly deserving of, we're going to start to believe on some level that we can't, or that we're not lovable, or that it's not possible for us. And it's almost like this connection pulls a lot of those beliefs out of you, a lot of those fears associated with, how this person is behaving. Because it's like, as they pull away, you're starting to question, what did I do wrong? Is my unlovableness coming out again? And I don't want you to think that what I'm saying is that those things are true. I'm saying that those are those experiences that you've had where you haven't had the love that you are deserving of, have made you feel that way about yourself, and this connection is bringing a lot of that up, which is why I feel there's a lot of trying to ignore the way that it's making you feel, because I feel like it's very, very painful to have to face. Facing feelings of being unlovable, facing feelings of being not good enough, these things aren't easy to do. And the connections that we tend to kind of have the strongest attachment to are the ones that make us feel that way. And so I feel like a lot of that is kind of being pulled through in this connection, and it's making you kind of second guess yourself here a little bit. And maybe that's very unlike you to second guess yourself and your worth, but I do very much feel like this connection is kind of causing you to do that as of right now. All right, Leo's side of this connection. No, why do I keep doing that? That's like the third time this week. We're looking at this person's energy. All right, this person's energy toward Leo. We're going to jump back over there, but I want to get some clarity on their energy first so we can tie together this story here. This person's energy toward Leo, clarifying underlying motives with the 5 of Swords. So what the hell's going on with them? Because it's obvious that you're in a tough place right now. All right. Person's energy toward Leo. Interesting. They don't want to lose this. This connection has a tendency to push them pretty far out of their comfort zone. But this happened over time. Because I feel, and this is why I feel things were different in the beginning, because in the beginning of any connection, it's fun and exciting, and, things are almost easy. And then as things kind of get real, that's when connections are really tested. So over time in this connection, you've really pushed this person out of their comfort zone. Now, not like in a bad way. I just feel maybe when it comes to commitment, or this person having to face how they really feel about you, or, face themselves and their fears and their unlovableness in association, or their feelings of unlovableness in association with their trauma. Like, this connection, I feel like, pushes this person, very far out of their comfort zone. And I feel like they don't want to lose the connection, but it's really scary for them. This connection's very scary for them, in some way, for whatever reason. And I feel that is a big reason as to why they pulled away. This person's energy toward Leo. See, they don't believe that they could be successful in love, which is why I feel, because here's the Eight of Cups. Either they like straight up have walked away from this connection, or you feel as if they're kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like they're pulling away for sure here. I can feel based on just the way that their energy is showing up as. Now, it's interesting because, again, they don't want to lose the connection, right? They obviously very much care about this. But this Five of Swords is coming out. This me against the world mentality. I can't trust anyone. I can't let anybody in. I don't believe in unconditional love. I'm not lovable, so anyone who loves me must be wrong, must have a problem. All of these things can kind of come into play because with this Six of Wands in reverse here, it's almost like they don't believe in successful relationships. Now, that can come from so many different things, right? It can, being a child of divorce. It can come from just experiencing, even people, if your parents are together, but you just see how unhealthy their dynamic is, and you obviously don't want that. Like, we kind of learn what is possible for us in love, or what we believe. We come to learn what we believe is possible for us in love by what we experience. So when we experience a lot of unhealthy or unsuccessful relationships as a child, or even like in our own relationships as we move forward, we're going to adopt this belief that all relationships come to an end. They always end in heartbreak. It's not worth it because you always get hurt. People always betray you, whatever the case might be. And it feels like they've adopted a lot of that, this belief that relationships, that they can't be successful in relationships, or they can't have what they want in relationships. So here's the thing, since I feel like they do have very strong feelings for you, and this connection kind of pushes them to have to feel those things, this fear of like, oh, well, I already really care about this person, and I already really like the way that this connection feels, but I already know this is going to end poorly. Like, this is what they're thinking. I already know this is going to end poorly, so I better pull back now before I get more hurt later on. Now, I'm not saying that they're like consciously making these decisions, because remember, 95% of our movements, choices, and decisions stem from our subconscious, and our subconscious patterns, our subconscious beliefs, and our actions associated with that. So I did say I think that this is what they're thinking, but I'm not saying that that's necessarily like their thought process. I just think that that's like the way that things are unfolding. Is I see the potential. That potential is really scary because I know that it's gonna hurt eventually, right? Because I don't believe in successful relationships. So I might as well push you away now, Leo, because I'd rather just end it, get hurt now than risk getting more hurt later on. Which has nothing to do with your value, right? Because you're carrying around this idea that you're not enough, that you're not doing enough, that you're not being enough, that you're not being what this person wants or needs, when in reality, I feel like it's the opposite. And I feel like the more value that they see in you, the more afraid they get and that they pull back, which at the end of the day, we don't have any control over. This person's energy toward Leo, please. What does Leo need to know about this person's energy toward them? See, they think very highly of you. The Magician, the Lovers here, it's like, it almost feels like you kind of mirror what they've always wanted in their relationships, but this is what they expect out of it. The Ten of Swords. It's like in their mind, they're like, oh, this is like too good to be true. That's what it feels like. They feel this is too good to be true. So their reaction to that is, how can I protect myself? Because that's what the Five of Swords is all about, right? Defensiveness and pushing people away. It's all a form of protecting yourself. And I feel like that's kind of their underlying motive here, is they're doing whatever they can to protect themselves, which can come out in so many different types of behaviors. I'm not saying it's a justification for a lot of behavior, because, people can protect themselves by being manipulative. They can protect themselves by being cruel. None of those things are okay. But understanding someone's behavior and where they're coming from can help you not take it so personally. Because I feel like when people kind of push us away, our immediate reaction is, what did I do? Why am I not enough? How does this have to do with me? When in reality, they're dealing with so much that doesn't have anything to do with you. So that's why they're pushing this away, is because it's a way for them to cope with the way that they're feeling. Now, something I have always said is that I believe that any two people can make a connection work, but it requires both people being willing to be aware of their past, their traumas, their limiting beliefs, and not allow those things to control and dictate their behavior and connections. That is what a healthy connection is, basically two people handling their stuff individually so they don't bring it in the middle of a connection. So the success of this connection requires the extent to which this person is dealing with their stuff. And right now it doesn't really seem like it, especially with how much that this is affecting you. But, you kind of have to ask yourself, have I communicated my needs? Am I being honest about what I deserve out of this? Because a lot of what you're doing is you're kind of pushing down how this is making you feel and figuring out whatever it is that you can do to make this person value you more or, not push you away. But again, this person already sees you as valuable. So that's not the problem here. They've got their own issues that they're dealing with that have nothing to do with you, which means there is nothing that you can do to make this person behave differently. You can communicate your needs, you can set boundaries, and you can ask for what it is that you truly desire, and then you need to decide based on this person's response, because you can't control someone's response to your boundaries. But what you can do is decide what is best for you based on that response. And that, I feel like, is where we really learn what connections are meant for us and which ones are not at a certain time. And that's really scary when we do really love and care about someone, because obviously we want to make it work, right? But sometimes trying to make something work with someone who isn't doing the work is only going to hurt you more than it's going to get you to where you're trying to go. And we have to be willing to be honest with ourselves about that. I'm not saying that's what I see in this. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to give you all the information so that you can make the best decision for yourself moving forward. All right, Leo's side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. Leo's side of this connection, please. I don't like the way those came out. I wanna repull. Sometimes it feels like cards fall out versus come out like that. All right. Two of Wands in reverse. Could be dealing with a water sign. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. You don't have to be, though. Okay. I want you to ask yourself, Leo, I want you to ask yourself this question and be willing to answer it honestly. Am I getting what I give in this connection? No relationship is truly going to be 50-50 all the time, because that's just not the way it works. But every relationship, every healthy relationship is reciprocal, meaning that, there are some days you only have 20, but this person picks up the slack and gives 80. But then there are days where you have to give 70 and they give 30. And there are days when you're 50-50, but it ranges. You show up as your best self, they show up as their best self, and it balances out. I don't know if that reciprocation aspect is happening in this connection. It feels like there's a lot of you showing up, you giving this person love, you being there for them, you giving them what you think they need, and completely abandoning in the process your own needs, desires, and feelings. And I feel like you're doing that because you think you have to. A lot of times we believe that not having needs and not having feelings makes us more valuable, right? Makes us less of a burden. I almost feel like you're starting to feel a little bit like having, maybe this might not be for everyone, but having needs or having feelings makes you a burden or makes you less valuable or attractive. And I can tell you with 100% certainty that if somebody that you're dealing with finds you more attractive because you don't have needs or feelings, they don't respect you as a person. You deserve people who see you for who you are and what you need and what you feel, and are willing to do what is necessary to make sure that you feel loved, supported, respected. Of course, coming from the other side, not to the extent to which is a detriment to themselves, but same for you, right? You want to show up for this person, make sure they feel loved, supported, all those good things, but not to a detriment of yourself. And I feel like that's what's kind of happened here. And there's a lot of sometimes we mistake unconditional love with unconditional tolerance. And we believe, oh, I love this person and I have empathy for them and I see why they are the way they are and they've had a really hard childhood, they're going through a lot and blah, 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 blah. And it's great, to love someone through those things, but that does not mean we have to tolerate the way that they behave or the way they act or the way they treat us. You still deserve to be treated with love and respect and empathy and all the things that you're giving, even if someone is dealing with a lot. And I feel like that's where you're needing to kind of be honest with yourself and say, am I getting what I'm given? Am I getting what I deserve? Does this align with what I'm ultimately looking for? Leo's side of the connection. To the person there. You don't want it. You don't want to lose it either. I mean, neither of you want to lose this connection. And I like that because that means that both people have, you guys have this is something my significant other and I talk about a lot, which is we have a mutual goal, right? Our mutual goal is our individual success and the success of our relationship. We want each other to be successful and we want to be successful together. And if we have a mutual goal, then we can work together to attain that goal. So you have a mutual goal here. Neither of you wants to lose this connection. So now comes the question, are both of you willing to do the work to make it work? Is this person willing to face themselves? Are they willing to face their trauma? Are they willing to face these things that they don't want to face in order to make this connection work? And I can tell you with 100% certainty that if their answer to that is no, that does not mean that you are not good enough. All that means is they are too committed to running from themselves and facing these things within them to commit to doing those, to facing it for you. They don't want to face, if they don't want to face themselves for themselves, they're not going to want to face it for you. Because I can tell they do see your value. There's no doubt about that. Leo's side of the connection to the person they are dealing with. I mean, justice in reverse, you're not getting what you deserve here. You're not getting what you deserve. So what's within your control to receive that? Have you set a boundary? If you've set a boundary, are you respecting that boundary? A lot of what I've learned is that in relationships specifically, we accept the kind of treatment we think we deserve. We accept the capacity to which we deserve we are capable of being loved. So when we're receiving bare minimum love from somebody, regardless of whether or not we received it, more in the beginning than we did later, we start to believe that, we almost start like validating it to ourselves. Like, well, yeah, this is all I'm receiving, but here are all the mistakes I'm making, or here's how I'm not perfect, or here's what I'm doing wrong. And one of the things, it's wonderful. Be accountable for the ways that you're showing up. Setting a boundary is basically saying, I know that I'm showing up in the best way that I know how, and I deserve that same kind of energy reciprocated. So sure, take accountability for, what you can change, what you can control. But at the same time, don't think that because you're making mistakes or because you're not perfect, that means that you deserve bare minimum love. You are deserving of love as you're healing, as you're growing, as you're becoming better. You've been deserving of love all along. It's just that you've been taught that you aren't. And you've been taught that by society, by situations that you've been in. And now you have this mindset, I need to fix all these things about myself so that I can be loved. I need to be more than what I am to be loved. And that's not true. You're deserving of the love that you desire for who you are right now, not when you provide value to others. but for who you are in this moment, which is valuable to others. But okay, let's keep going. This person's energy toward Leo. Five of Wands. I want a little bit more clarity on this Five of Wands. I want to see how this is manifesting in the connection. Okay. So here you are, Queen of Wands, whether you're male or female, doesn't matter. You have kind of sparked this internal battle with this person. You know, the battle of like, I know this is what I want, but I don't believe it's possible, so I'm going to find reasons to push it away because that's easier than facing myself. That's all coming from within, right? Your energy has sparked that in them. It's kind of triggered that part of them. Not with anything that you've done wrong, okay? It's just, you know, when you show up with unconditional love and support and empathy to someone who doesn't know how to receive it, that's going to be freaking triggering to them because they're going to be like, what's going on? I've never experienced this before. I don't really know what to do. Especially if you're dealing with someone who's used to being valued for like their success or their looks or something like that, and like despite those things you still love them, like they're not gonna believe that they're lovable despite those things. And I feel like this person struggles with that, and so you kind of come in providing them with all this good energy, and it, for lack of a better word, kind of freaks them out. I'm not saying you came on too strong. I'm not saying you shouldn't be vulnerable. You've showed up. You know, if you've showed up in the best way that you know how, and you've been vulnerable and honest about how you're feeling, and this person doesn't know how to take it, that's a them problem. That's not a you problem. So I feel like this person, you know, is kind of this internal war they have going on in them, because again, this connection really pushes them out of their comfort zone, and I feel like you're trying to get in the middle of that internal war. You know, and you are kind of becoming a casualty in this person's internal battle that they have going on. And that's why I feel like there's this need to understand that there's nothing that you can do to make this person be different than they are. If they are committed to not working on themselves, not facing themselves, not doing the work and doing the healing, the best thing that you can do is say, this is not what I deserve. I love you. I care about you. I have empathy for where you're at, but I deserve more than this, and I have got to redirect my energy. I've got to pull back my energy from this because I'm getting hurt, and I've got to redirect it towards things that know how to reciprocate me. And understand that saying that is not a selfish thing to do. That's how you stand up for the love of yourself. And that's what, you know, is kind of being asked of you here in this connection. All right, this person's energy toward Leo. Yeah, see, the Seven of Cups is this energy of them having no idea what to do. Which is funny because the correct answer, I feel like, is just like stay and work through this and go to therapy, do some shadow work, journal a little bit. But that's just hard. People don't want to do that. You know, a lot of people don't want to face themselves. And so that's kind of where, you know, this person's feeling insecure. They're feeling overwhelmed. They're feeling you know, it's like this connection is too much for them to handle. It's not that you're too much. It's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's that like they don't know how to handle the way that this connection makes them feel. And in doing that, their answer is put on armor. You know, push this person away, put up a shield, because that's the best thing that they can do within their control and power to protect themselves, even if that means hurting you in the process. So, I don't know, like, you get another one here. What does Leo need to know about this person's energy toward them? Their past is in the way, which I kind of already talked about. I said that they don't believe in successful connections or in like the ability for their relationships to be successful. So they want to push it away before the opportunity of getting hurt comes along. So they need to deal with this. They need to deal with their past before they are going to be capable of being what it is that you are ultimately deserving of. They're going to have to deal with this. And there's no guarantee that they do. You can't shame people into change. You can't love them into change. You cannot do anything to make people change or heal or grow or face themselves. This is going to have to be something that they decide to do on their own, and in their own regard. Because I feel with this, because it's the Four of Cups, right? Like, they're not wanting to focus on this. They're not wanting to face it. They're not wanting to heal from it. They're not wanting to deal with it. So it's this unresolved kind of trauma, unresolved experience from their past that's causing them to just completely not allow anybody in, including you, even though you have nothing but good things to give them. You know, people prefer a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven, so they're going to push away anything that makes them feel scared, you know, outside of anything that is outside of their comfort zone, even if it's better, right? If they're used to conditional love, that's what's familiar to them. That's what feels the safest. Even though you're showing up with this unconditional love and you have so much, you know, good to give them, in their mind, that's not, like, that's scary. That's more scary than the familiar hell of conditional or transactional love that they're used to, or just lacking it in general. So the biggest thing that's coming through, and hopefully this does provide you with some relief, is that this person pulling away doesn't have anything to do with you. It's not that you're not enough. It's not that you are not lovable. It's not that you don't have value. Okay, it's that this person doesn't know how to handle what you have to give here. And their primary priority is how to protect themselves. And that right there is, you know, nothing that you can control. So you have to make sure you boundary up, that you're standing up for what you need, you're communicating your feelings, and that's going to start with being honest with yourself about how you feel here, right? Does this align with what I deserve? No. Okay, what do I need from this person for that to align with what I deserve? Be willing to communicate that and understand that you can't control this person responds. But however they respond is going to be your answer. In between this connection, you have Detour with the 9 of Wands. I'm going to pull 9 different messages looking at the deeper purpose of the connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. Information for that extended is in the description box below. At the top of the description box below is information on my upcoming workshop, How to Attract the Love That You Desire and Deserve, which is going to be next Friday, April 5th at 6 p.m. Central Time. It is a live workshop taking place over Zoom, not over YouTube. All of that information is in the link at the top of the description box. Tickets are required to attend. If you cannot attend the live event, but you still wish to receive a recording of the event, you can purchase a ticket and that recording will get sent to you whether you attend the event or not. The only thing you'll miss out on is if you're not at the live event, I am doing a Q&A, a 15 to 20 minute Q&A session. Obviously, if you're not at the live event, you won't be able to ask questions, but you will still receive the recording of that session. So again, all information for that is at the top of the description box below. If you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email. That is and always will be in the description box below as well. Otherwise, thank you so much, Leo, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, Leo, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Leo.